Introduce yourself and your wife of blank million days. Okay?
Okay.
Cut loose.
Okay. My name is Russ Murdoch, and this is my lovely wife, Sari Murdoch. We've been married for 3,075 days, which is a bit over 8 years. We have a beautiful 1.5-year-old or 592-day little girl named Blair Amanda, and we are just very excited to be here.
Great to have you. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so we'll just have fun with this, okay?
Okay.
And I'll just ask you questions. You just tell me what's on your heart.
All right.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about were you in the ministry at one time? Or
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about when you were baptized, and when the ministry, and then came out of the ministry.
Okay.
Quick synopsis.
Sure. I was converted 20 years old at the University or New Jersey Institute of Technology. I was captain of the basketball team, and I was met in the beginning of the fall semester, became a Christian 3 weeks later. After about 6 months, started leading the campus ministry, and 2 years later, we were asked to go out to Hudson County, and we worked in the full-time ministry for 4 years, and God saw fit for us to come out of the ministry, and now we are working in corporate America, and we work with the preteen and young teen ministry in the New Jersey metro region.
Okay, great. So tell a little bit about how the two of you met and got married.
Well,
Oh,
Russ and I knew each other before we actually became disciples. We dated. Actually, we went to an after-school program together when we were just 5 years old, 6 years old. We grew up in that program together, and we started dating somewhere around high school. You know, all throughout high school, and then all throughout college for him and business school for me. And he became a disciple before me, as he said, and I became a disciple 2 months after he did. I was baptized in the singles ministry down in South Jersey while he was up at the campus ministry. And shortly after, I came to join him to lead the campus ministry up in the North Essex County area. And then from there, we went on the rest of the story. We led the church together. We had a lot of fun doing that, and here we are.
Oh, that's great. So what year was it you were baptized?
I was baptized in September 26, 1990.
And mine was November 23rd, 1990.
And when did you get married?
We got married April 30th, 1994 at 3 p.m.
See if I'd subtracted the days.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've given to special missions contribution for a long time.
Yes.
You sacrificed a lot of money, a lot of things to do that. What has inspired you the most about giving to special missions?
Well, I believe one of the biggest things is to see from 94, I believe it was, when the whole evangelization proclamation came about, just the whole vision of actually seeing the world evangelized in our lifetime, and to think that we were going to imitate what was done in the Bible was inspiring. And I've had friends in our campus ministry that had gone on mission teams, knowing that they were down in the Caribbean, sacrificing their lives and helping people get to know God and become disciples. Having friends go to Africa and help to work with the plantings there. It was like, man, this is family. These are friends that have had the same heart and desire that we had, and so of course I'm going to give, of course, to support friends, family, and God's kingdom advancing. So that's why I did what I did.
Yeah, for me it's just been an honor. It's just been an honor, just knowing that we're doing what God would want us to do. You know, that Jesus was a man on a mission, you know, and the fact that we will only have to give a certain amount, which the truth is he's given his whole life. and we're given a small portion, and I just think that it's an honor. And to see the work, as Russ said, that has been done all over the world, it's just so encouraging to see what God has done. And now we can dream about, because it's just the beginning, it's just to see what he's going to do from this point on. It really is, it's amazing. But I think the reason that I've given is because, Jesus has given his life. And I think of the churches in the Bible. I think of the Macedonian church. They've given more than what they were asked to out of their severe poverty. So to think that we can give from what we have, it's just, how can you not? That's how I feel about it. Just how can you not? Yeah.
Great. Excitement. So I know that probably at times you've been in financial straits and things have been tough.
And sure.
Missions contributions come around and you're like, that's a lot of money. We could pay bills with that. How have you dealt with those kind of temptations?
Okay. Well, it's interesting you say that. From 1997 up to this current year, we've had major car issues, always right before missions contribution. So it's always been a test to our faith and our sacrifice of what we're going to do. And we've always seemed to make a plan, get help, and be able to give sacrificially or go beyond whatever goal we had set. And God's always provided. And so it's like we gotten to the point now that we expect something to happen before missions contribution, because we know that, hey, it's a part of life. I'm not going to get bummed out because the car broke down or this and that, but I'm going to continue to show God that, hey, we're gonna stay faithful and we're gonna persevere and keep thinking about the mission. People who are over in the foreign land, who don't have the luxuries, so to speak, that we have, man, I can hold off, getting this or getting that, or take the bus, or, these are really not sacrifices, but things that, we're willing to do and have done to see to it that we get our missions contribution taken care of.
Well, we definitely have had those times where we've struggled, and I'm just so thankful for prayer, and I'm thankful for people in the kingdom that God's put in our lives, because I can remember just in particular, what was it, a year ago? Almost a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago, when Russ was laid off from his job, and it was right around missions. Again, we can always expect there's something that's going to happen. And so there were some friends of ours, Will and Judy Mason, who are in our lives and helping us. And the great thing about this couple is that they've been in our wedding, they were, Russ was in their wedding. The relationship was just there.
Right.
And we just poured out our hearts. I had just had the baby, and this is where we're at. And basically we had to reset our goal, and just feel great about the fact that, okay, maybe we weren't able to do exactly, what we knew. We knew that our hearts were there, and that we still felt the sacrifice. We still felt the pinch. We still felt, like, okay, we might not know where this next meal is coming from, but it's okay. Because we're giving for the mission. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
And did God take care of you after that? Did you starve? Or?
What was interesting was I got offered a job that paid me $10,000 more 8 weeks later. So God took care of us.
He did.
He took care of us.
That's awesome.
That's right.
Seek first and take care of it. That's great. Awesome. So now that the 6-year plan's done, and the churches in all the countries, and so what else is there to do? Why do you give now? The churches are all planted.
Well, it's great that all the churches are planted, but to understand that it's not anywhere close to being done. And it's funny because you can think that. I know I can think like, hey man, we got a church in all of these different parts of the world in different countries, but when you look at the real deal in terms of numbers, what about all of the cities with 50,000? What about all the the smaller cities and places that we haven't even gotten to yet? So, I think that we need to be excited, but we need to be sober to realize that we're not anywhere close to seeing the world evangelized. And that's exactly what Jesus wants us to do, is evangelize the entire world. So, we've done okay, but we have a far way to go to see the world evangelized. So that's what I think.
Well, Jesus was a goal setter, and I think it's great that we planted these churches. However, he also touched people's lives one at a time. And I just think there's so many lives that need to be touched. We've got to take the message to these people's lives. It's great that we got the church, but there are people that need to make up the church, and so people that need to be saved. So we can't say that we've actually done it, that we fulfilled the mission until people have been saved.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, you guys are good. Okay. What have you visited a church outside the U.S.?
Yes. We were in the 1995 Johannesburg World Mission Leadership Conference. We saw the Joburg Church, or the Soweto meeting with all different. I think that was the first time where you had that many different nationalities in that particular part of the South Africa. Amazing. We still look at the videotape and you're amazed, and
Scary.
Safari was crazy, but just to see to see other disciples, seeing them playing basketball and just doing the regular things that we do. It's like, man, they do this in other parts of the world, but he's a disciple, he's got his Bible, he's it's exciting. It's faith building to know on the other side of the world there are disciples who are, they're getting up when we're going to sleep. When we're going to sleep, they're getting up, and the work is constantly going on. So that was a great experience that we had in Joburg.
And we also went to Manila, Philippines for a conference there as well, and also LA. But
that's not it.
That's another country.
It's another country,
Another country. Well, you guys are from. Anyway, but Manila, Philippines, I think, which was the coolest thing about that, it was being able to not only ride the little buses and everything seemed to be on the wrong side of the road, but to go to these campgrounds where you saw these children and these families and where they lived, and I can just remember vividly in my mind us having a Coke.
Yeah.
There was one person in the group that had a Coke, a Diet Coke or whatever, Coca-Cola, and like mounds of children just running up to us just because they wanted that one Coke.
Yeah.
It was just, and I remember saying to myself, I don't ever want to complain again.
That's right.
Just because you realize, wow, things that we take for granted that we have every day at our disposal, and here we have these kids that are dying just to receive a drink of Coke.
Yeah.
So I would never forget that scene, and just even the housing, where they lived, on the garbage, and it was really incredible.
Yeah, I think too, we got a chance to go out with some of the disciples who worked in the Hope Project that she was referring to, and to see the relationships that they had with the people. Things that it made you think about your Hope activities and what you're doing, and how, man, they're doing the same thing, and they're in people's lives, knowing them on a first name basis and knowing their kids. It's like the kingdom is all over, and this is great to see how, man, we are really affecting people's lives, even in, Smoky Mountain, Manila. So that was amazing.
Well, you guys are good. You're answering everything. You're answering even the ones I hadn't asked you.
Okay.
What do you do as a job?
For a job, I'm a rating analyst. I basically create the rates that the salespeople that sell to small employers from 2 to 49. I create basically a rate disc that I give to them. They put on their computers. They go out and sell it. And also, that rate disc goes to what we call master brokers all throughout New Jersey, and so they do a lot of business for us. So, I have to make sure that my numbers are straight, because if not, there's some big trouble going on. So, yeah.
Rates for
insurance.
Blue Cross.
For health insurance for Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's who I work for. Yeah.
And what do you do?
I I'm going to begin working. I was a stay-at-home mom for 19 months.
Oh, good.
But now I'm very fortunate. I'm going to be able to work with disciples. There are 2 disciples in our ministry that are doctors, in the region in New Jersey, and they're pediatricians, and it's our daughter's pediatrician. And so I'm going to start working part-time, a couple days a week, and, I'll still be able to be home with her during the day, but in the afternoon I'll go in for a couple of hours. So it's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
When do you start that?
I know the training starts next week.
So after 19 months, back at it.
Yes. Yes.
It's been tough getting
It's
there.
tough, right.
It's been a fight.
That's great. Excellent. Okay. One other question I want to get, and then I'm going to turn you over to Michael. He'll do a little walk and talk with you.
Okay.
And this is just for a whole nother segment I want to do sometime on people who come out of the ministry. So, you saw it on 42. We had that.
The one couple, yes.
So, tell me, what was the hardest thing about coming out of the ministry?
Boy. The hardest thing in coming out of the ministry was reminding myself every day that I didn't fail, that I didn't waste time, and just missing the relationships. I understand the life of a sector leader or someone in a full-time ministry is demanding and you're pulled every which way possible, but just not being close to the guys that we cried together, you done all types of things together, and that's kind of like severed. That was hard, but then also just going back to regular regional services and seeing
Do you have a permit?
people.
No, we're just taking some part of church.
And then just seeing the people, and it's like a constant reminder that you didn't do the job, you didn't carry through what you intended. I mean, ministry was always my dream as a young Christian, be an evangelist and one day maybe become an elder, and so it was challenging to see a dream not be fulfilled, especially if you're goal oriented.
I'm gonna cut you off, but
That's rude. Hey. Hey.
That's guerrilla filming.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, how did you? What helped you the most to overcome those feelings of failure?
What helped me the most to overcome was to constantly be open, because you revisit those feelings at different times around different people, and so the relationships are really key, and we had a lot of daily contact and just talking, crying, just really expressing things, because it's interesting what comes out of your heart when change comes along, and and there's a lot of disappointment. I know that I felt that brothers really helped me to constantly keep remembering, remember why. But I think one of the other things was just not sitting around and getting inward focus. We got right to work, and we've been working with the preteens and young teens for the last 3 years, and it's totally helped us to stay outward focused and remember the big picture. Because now we got a really important part of the pie here, because it's the future, and that is that's important to us all, and so that those two things I would say really helped me the most to overcome this situation.
I think the thing that's helped me to overcome, I think the most challenging thing, that was the first question, first of all, was just knowing that there was a dream there, but then now learning how to dream again, because I mean, the thing that I realized is that there's life after the ministry.
It's true.
Not everybody, it was a great ride, it was a great opportunity. Not everybody will get the opportunity. But that God allowed us to learn something that we can carry on for life.
That's right.
You know, and I think I needed to learn that there were other young women, men.
That's a little too much competition. Wow.
All for the door to open. More buses? Okay. But that there, you know, are constantly new young women and also young men coming into the ministry, and you know, we've been able to help them and encourage them with things that we've learned, and you know, so it's not all, you know, a failure in one sense, because I mean, you can't fail, you know, and when it comes to God, you know, you can not do well at something and learn from it and move on.
Right.
And I think that's what I've done. So, yeah.
Amen.
Yep.
You're still in the ministry.
That's
Still in the
right.
ministry.
Oh,
Just
we
not
just
get
don't get paid by the church. That's
Yeah.
right. We are still
This thing.
in the ministry. Yeah, you should feel that.
You look hungry. There might be something in that bag to eat.
Only in New York.
It's only good to follow you. Okay, do you want to do the walking song?
Yeah.
And I'll prep them a little bit, get them ready.
Okay. When I start walking backwards, just go ahead. Or actually, when you start talking, I'll start walking backwards,
Okay.
and then you can just talk.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, one of my personal dreams is I like to see a basketball camp for kids of the disciples, where for 1 month they come to camp and they get a chance to learn how to develop their skills. They get a chance to learn how to work out, and in the same time understand the value of teamwork and hard work, of just being man, I'm messing up. I'm messing up.
The truck.
All right, bro. Give me another shot. Okay.
Whenever you're ready, just start talking. I'll start walking.
Okay. One of my personal dreams is to see my entire family baptized. I have a big, huge family, and I like to see them all one day lined up on the stage of the Jacob Javits Center and baptizing each and every one of them, as well as the state of New Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy, been born and raised in Jersey, been there all my life, and I love to see just the entire state saturated with Bible talks, and that my wife and I could somehow, be a part of helping the young teens and preteens grow up in the faith, and really grab hold of what God has and planned for them. That's one of my dreams for personally.
Great.
One of my personal dreams is to see an AMS ministry started in New Jersey. I love to sing, and not only because I love to sing and I love to perform, but I believe that performers they're like some of the most influential people in the world. And what the music industry has become, it really is so sad, and I believe that as disciples, we can one by one develop a whole new meaning as to what it means to perform and to take a talent and use it for God. So I would love to see just an AMS ministry in New Jersey.
Just get some basic information.